right. I think after that song, we're already done, right? You got your spiritual food. Thank you, Matova. Really inspiring. Good to see everyone. Happy Sunday. As was mentioned, today is the last sermon of the 4-sermon series on the 4 realms of heart. And I've mentioned this several times, but this is part of our core mission here in New Jersey Family Church. It's really about empowering all families to experience true love through helping them experience and grow these 4 realms of heart. So last week I spoke about the conjugal realm of heart. And if you remember, there were, we spoke about 3 kind of key special aspects of the conjugal heart, as well as 3 kind of practical tips on how you can practice it to experience true God-centered intimacy. So if you missed it, go check it out on our website. It's some good tips, I think. But today, the main focus is going to be on the parental realm of heart. This is the 4th and final kind of realm of heart. And as I was preparing for this topic, it was interesting. I usually like to refine it down to like 3 main points, but the more I looked into it, I couldn't get it to 3. Actually, I have 5 main points about the parental realm of heart. So I'd like to go over those today. As always, I like to start with definitions. The parent is simply a father or mother. And heart, the impulse to seek joy through giving and receiving true love. So the parental realm of heart is all about this impulse that parents have to seek joy through giving and receiving love with their children. And this is something that I think is a very special realm of heart that we all can develop. So the question is, what is special or unique about the parental realm of heart? What do you guys think? What comes to mind? That's different from the other realms of heart. We had children, siblings, and conjugal or spousal. But what's unique or special about the parental realm of heart? Okay, one person said unconditional. Great. Yes? Constantly giving. Okay. Yes? Boundless love. Boundless love. All right.
No discrimination.
No what? Determination. Okay, parental love requires determination. No discrimination. Okay, that's good too. Sacrificial. Okay, you guys have pretty much all the main points. But I want to back each of these points up with some scripture words. So the first point that really stood out to me was the parental heart is unique in the sense that it allows us to experience God's heart. Okay? XP is experience, by the way. Here's a quote from Father Moon. By giving birth to children, parents are in the position of God in the flesh. Through that experience, parents inherit the true parent's realm of heart from the invisible God. They take on the glory of being a second creator acting in God's place. So this is a powerful passage. It's basically saying that by becoming a parent, you actually are in a position to really inherit this position that God has as a parent of humankind. When I remember when I became a parent myself, the amount of preparation I needed, you have to kind of get the cribs, you got to get the clothes, you got to baby-proof all your furniture. I don't know if you guys did that. But you had to do so much preparation for your child to make sure that the child is safe. And I think similarly, God had to kind of prepare before creating human beings, through building all of creation in preparation for that. And as you know, as parents, there's both the joys and the suffering of being parents. And I'm sure that's exactly what God experienced as well. the joy that he felt when he first created, and then also the challenges when the relationship didn't go well. So in one sense, by being parents, you can really connect more deeply with God's heart. And I think this is a really unique aspect of the parental realm. Second point, someone mentioned this, that parental love is unconditional. Actually, I like to say that you learn to love unconditionally because it's not kind of there from the get-go, okay? Let's read. Then what is true love? This is also from Father Moon. Its essence is to give, to live for the sake of others and for the sake of the whole. True love gives, forgets that it has given, and continues to give without ceasing. Such beautiful words about parental love. Now, the truth is, let me tell you how it's really like. When I was before I go into the story, I do want to say one thing. So this one sounds really nice, right? Just give and forget and give without ceasing. How many people feel like you're pretty loving people? Anyone? You're pretty loving? Okay, about a third of you feel you're loving. Others are not as confident, but we've been practicing true love, right? I remember sharing that I actually thought I was perfect before I got blessed in marriage. And then I also thought that I was patient until I had kids. So, you might think you're patient, you might think you're loving, but wait till you have kids. Imagine, let's say, you have a friend, and your friend comes up to you and begs you for food, right? And you're like, okay, you're a nice guy, you're going to give food to your friend, right? What if that friend comes up to you every 2 hours for food? Every 2 hours. Okay, so maybe, you're nice, so you every 2 hours you give. What if your friend comes and asks you to wipe their butt for them? Okay, that's kind of extreme, but let's say you're a really nice guy and you really help. But then what if they do that every 2 hours in the middle of the night? And not just not asking nicely, but screaming at the top of their lungs, "Feed me!" Well, that's kind of what it's like being a parent with newborns. And I remember when I was had my first son, it wasn't all kind of glorious. Actually, you know how they say how amazing it is to be a parent and newborn? I remember for the first month, I was calling my son and I would tell my wife, "Oh, it's hungry." She's like, "Why are you calling it it?" Because it was a foreign element. It was new. I didn't know how to relate with it. So my son was it for about a month. And also for the dads out there, husbands, once the baby is born, I experience all the mother's love, full attention goes to the baby. I'm talking 100% energy goes to the baby. 0% left for you. And so, when you're in this conjugal realm, so loving with your wife, and you're always, happy to be together, once you have a child, no more love, guys. Telling you, at least for the first month, no more love. Because it takes so much energy for the mom to really care for the newborn. And I remember one time I came home and I heard crying, but it was interesting because I saw multiple people crying. So I went up to my bedroom and then I saw on the bed my son is crying, and then also on the left side of the bed my wife is crying, and I'm just going in there and picking up the baby and then consoling her at the same time. And at the same time, I'm not getting any love too, so it's just terrible. But That's how you start learning unconditional love, guys. Whether you're ready for it or not, when you have children, it's designed for you to challenge, to grow, and expand your heart. There's no other way. There's no negotiating with babies. Oh, I'm a little tired. Can you wait a couple hours? There's no negotiation, right? You have to continue giving, and you have to forget and continue giving. Well, guess what? That is the parental realm of heart. And that's what God experienced with us, with each of us. And so the more you're experiencing this parental realm of heart, the more you can actually tap into God's heart as a parent towards each of us. So that's the second aspect. It's unconditional. First was that it's really divine, a chance to experience God's heart. The third aspect that's unique to parental heart, it is duality of fatherly and motherly heart. So this is also very interesting. It's not just one kind of love. It's actually two different kinds of love as a parent. So here's a quote from Proverbs 3:12, because the Lord disciplines those he loves, and as a father, the son he delights in. There's a whole bunch of other passages like this, was it spare the rod, spoil the child, or something like that. Anyway, point is, there is an aspect of God's love that is kind of tough, where it requires more discipline and, challenge. And, many times we feel like, oh, love is all warm and lovey-dovey and all that kind of stuff. No, actually, there is an aspect of God's love that is pretty strict. But that's behind that strictness is the desire for you to grow and mature to your full potential. And so we have to be able to see behind the strictness the love that exists for the sake of our own growth. Here's a passage from The Mother of Peace, page 146. Even though all human beings have parents, as you have wandered through history without knowing God or the true way of life, we have felt like orphans. I have striven throughout my life to lead humanity to the welcoming, forgiving, rebirthing love of God, who is our heavenly parent. So there's also this motherly kind of aspect of God's love, which is very forgiving, welcoming. Mother says rebirthing, kind of revitalizing. So there is both aspects. And as parents, we need to provide both aspects to our children. This is what makes it tough. And that's why it's really hard if you're just by yourself to do that. That's why it's important to have both a father and mother. It's really hard to give both just as one person. So you need all the help you can get to really provide both kinds of love to your children. Okay, so just to elaborate on this one, I remember one time, this was classic. So my son, he was probably like 1.5 or almost 2. And I noticed he was reaching over to try to grab a toy on my bed, but he was really short. The bed was like this tall, and the toy was there. It was trying to reach the toy, and then I noticed that he was trying to get up on the bed, but he couldn't quite reach. So I moved the toy further away. And then he keeps trying, and then he starts crying, like, ah! But I just moved the toy again. Come on, you can do it, So then he keeps trying again, cries some more. And then all of a sudden, my wife comes running into the room. What are you doing? I'm like, what? I'm training him. I was like, I can't believe you. And then she picks him up, and then, it's okay. And I was like, man, I was just, he needs to challenge himself. So I think there is this both aspect. God wants us to grow, challenge, and, achieve more in life, and to prepare him for his future. He has to overcome, and even if it's difficult, But from a mother's love side, it wants to comfort and wants to address the immediate pain that they're feeling. Again, it's not right or wrong. Actually, every child needs both. They need both kinds of love to really grow in the fullness of parental love. The fourth kind of aspect of parental love, I believe, is customized love. Okay, what I mean by customized, it's God's love actually to each of us is very unique. It's not just generic, everything is the same. Actually, God's love is very personal. And for those who have experienced God's love, you know that it's for me, uniquely. And so, for example, for me, I like numbers. So God speaks to me in numbers. Or, through reflection and through seeing my life course. That's how I experience God. But for other people, it's different. But God knows that uniqueness in each person and loves you uniquely in that way. And so as parents, we also need to learn how to love each of our children uniquely. Not the same. I mean, in one sense, you need to love them unconditionally equally. But to really, truly love a child, you need to understand their unique tastes and interests and then provide in a way that they can receive and feel the love. Okay? So one story, I was busy, I was traveling, and so I think I was in Pennsylvania or something. I was driving back, and it's been a while since seeing my kids. They were like maybe 5 and 9 or something like that. And on the way back, I stopped by a Cracker Barrel. It was, and I felt like I need to get them a gift to kind of share some love. So I went home and I prepared special gifts for my daughter. So out of the gift bag, I pulled out this huge pink unicorn for my daughter. And she was like, her eyes lit up, and she was like, oh my gosh. And of course, she hugged it, and she was so happy. But if I gave a pink unicorn to my son, what do you think? Do you think maybe? I don't know. But I guess that he may not be as happy. So for him, I got something else. And I got him a huge box of Nerds. The candy, do you know the candy? It has like 12 packs inside the big box, but the packaging is huge. So then for him, I pull out this huge box of Nerds, and then he was like, oh my God. His eyes was this big. And of course, my wife's like, what are you getting them? He's gonna get cavities. But for me, that moment, that memory was really this kind of providing that impact and that memory in their childhood is so precious. And as parents, sometimes we feel like, oh, we don't want to spoil our kids. But they grow out of this receiving gifts and feeling joy pretty quickly. So it's pretty special when they're young to really provide them special memories like that. Because when they get older, they're not impressed. You get them stuff like, oh, thanks, Pa. Right? And it's like, or when they start getting their own job, they have all the money they need, so they don't really, appreciate gifts as much. But when they're kids, you can really provide that kind of impact. This reminds me, actually, Dr. Young always talks about touching people's hearts. And I feel like this is really part of the parental realm is you know each person so well, so uniquely that you're able to touch their hearts by giving them exactly what they need or want. That's really kind of a parental realm of heart. Finally, the last aspect of parental love is unchanging love. Someone mentioned it in the audience. When true parents, true spouses, and true children form a peaceful family, happiness follows naturally. No matter what difficulties come, the parents' heart of love for their sons and daughters should never change. is from Mother of Peace. You know, as parents, it doesn't end with changing diapers. There's different levels of challenge that come when they become teenagers, when they become high school, when they go to college, and they don't always listen to you. Did you notice that? I think from maybe 13 or 14, they stop listening. Well, some of them do. But it's so important that as parents, we continue to love unconditionally and continue to keep loving them no matter what. Because that's how God has loved each and every one of us, no matter what. And so this is really an aspect of connecting to God's heart, of despite them not listening or disobeying or going their own way, God's heart is to continue to love. And that's our challenge as parents to also do the same. So that's all great. I gave you 5 key aspects of parental love, but what is the challenge? Is it easy to practice parental love? Not so easy, right? But there's also a more rooted reason why parental love is so hard. Let's read. Originally, God was to be the true parent of all human beings. When we examine human history, however, we see that because of the fall of Adam and Eve, the first ancestors, humanity lost God. For thousands of years since that time, people have lived as orphans without being aware of it. Why has human history been so full of grief and sorrow? It is because we lost a true teacher who was to teach us the heavenly tradition, and lost the true parents who were to bequeath to us the eternal true lineage. So what Father Moon is saying here is the reason why we haven't experienced love in humanity and there's so much sorrow is because humanity actually disconnected from God. So no one has actually experienced or been taught the original tradition of love, these 4 realms of heart. No one actually was able to teach that because they were disconnected from God. So herein lies the role of true parents. The 6,000-year history of humankind, he prayed, was the anguished course necessary to receive the true parents. That Jesus could not become the true parent was the sorrow of all people, but the day of our engagement ceremony was the blessed day that finally relieved that sorrow. So, I guess maybe we'll wrap it up pretty soon here, but one of the main points I want to make today, besides the 5 main factors of parental heart, is that it was only when Jesus was able to model as a true son what the original children's realm of heart was through his absolute love and obedience and attendance to God. He was the first son of God. He was the first to actually model what it means to have a children's realm of heart, the original children's realm of heart. He was also the first to practice true sibling realm of heart. In other words, he was able to love his brothers and sisters, humanity, unconditionally. So he actually modeled the first time original children's and original siblings' realm of heart. But unfortunately, he was crucified. So he couldn't enter or experience the conjugal or the 3rd realm of heart, or the 4th. He couldn't have his own physical children, right? So therein, that's actually why we believe Jesus had to come again for the marriage of the Lamb. God wanted to reestablish these original 4 realms of heart for humanity to experience this original love. And so when Father and Mother Moon, they actually inherited the foundation of victory from Jesus. They also modeled what it meant to be a true son, a true daughter, the children's realm in front of God. They also modeled what it meant to practice true siblings love, loving their enemies, even those who persecuted them. And then, in 1960, through the holy marriage blessing, they were able to enter into the first original true conjugal realm of heart. And also, through loving the rest of humanity as true parents, finally, they were also able to model the original parental realm of heart. So, brothers and sisters, that is the significance of the blessing. We, through the blessing, were able to inherit the victory of Father and Mother Moon in their role as true parents, and for the first time, start to experience the original 4 realms of heart as God designed. Again, it's not automatic. We still have to put in effort to work towards it, but the blessing allows us to be free of the original sin and really work towards the possibility of experiencing these original 4 realms of heart. So it's really special. Again, just because you're blessed doesn't mean it's over. It's actually the beginning of really realizing God's original dream within each family. Okay, what if you don't have any kids yet? How about the singles here? What do you do if you don't have kids? Yeah.
I have my siblings.
You have your siblings, right, but your siblings are more sibling realm of heart. So how can you develop a parental realm if... Babysitting, all right, very good. So that's a great way to advertise, actually. Say, anyone want parental heart training, singles? You have a lot of parents that would love to provide you that opportunity. Yeah, actually, I had take care of pets, but babysitting is actually a better example. Actually, my son, one day he in high school, this last year, he came home with, I just heard, I was working in my office and I heard this annoying, like, crying baby sound. I was like, I was like, what is that? And I go to his room and he has this, like, toy baby that just randomly cries throughout all times of the day, and you're supposed to, like, burp it, and it's like a machine. And he got it from his school to train the kids what it's like to have a baby. It's really interesting. Yeah, it was kind of weird, but he had a whole crib and everything, and I think it was to discourage kids from having kids. But I remember even in the middle of the night, it would just make noises. But anyway, that's good training. Another way is to take care of others in ministry, because you really have to practice parental love when you're a ministry leader. And I mentioned this before, but practice really moving people's hearts, meaning you have to learn to listen and get to know each person, their unique aspect. And if you know them so well, then you can really move their hearts. So parental heart requires this kind of customized care. So if you intentionally train yourself to learn how to move people's heart, that's a great way to practice parental realm. Okay, here in New Jersey, we have several things. We have ministry leadership, guest care. If you join the guest care team, you have a chance to practice this. For those singles who want to go a more intensive course, we have the GPA missionary course for 1 year to 3 years. That will really train you in this realm. And also for parents, we have the Young Family Service once a month, the third Sunday. We also have the Ilshim program in Go sometimes, and a Blessing Handbook, which really helps you develop that relationship with your parents in relation to their preparation for marriage. So there's different programs that we have to really help you grow your parental realm of heart. So in summary, there are 5 special aspects of parental heart. 1, it's divine. It allows you to connect with God's original heart. 2, it's unconditional. 3, it has both a fatherly and motherly aspect. 4, it's customized and personalized. And 5, it's unchanging. And so these are the ways in which you can really grow this parental realm of heart. Secondly, the 4 great realms of heart are possible on the foundation of victory of Jesus and Father and Mother Moon, modeling the original 4 realms of heart for us. And finally, the secret to practicing parental love is to tap into God's love for you and seeing others from God's viewpoint. So this is one thing I want to leave you with is, when you feel exhausted as a parent, the best way to re-energize is to tap into the source of love. And what I mean by that is if you remind yourself of God's love for you, then you're really able to find or refill your heart. And when you see each person, to remind yourself, oh, Takino-san is also a child of God. Then even though I might be annoyed sometimes, I'm like, oh, but God loves Takino-san. So I can love Takino-san too. So kind of always trying to see every person from God's viewpoint. This will help you in practicing this parental realm. So reflection question, how can you practice your parental realm of heart this week? The challenge, reach out to one person on behalf of God and ask how they're doing. So in conclusion, really these realms of heart are so precious. I really feel this is the core of our faith community practice. And I really want to encourage you to continually challenge yourself in learning how to develop these realms of heart. And if we do that, then we're going to find tremendous love, more love experienced in our own family, and we can share that with the rest of the community and world. God bless you and have a great week.